Hello everybody, I'm Qlomorey, and today we're going to be talking about one of the many things in Little Nightmares Free that I felt was underused. And I mentioned this in my review of the game, but there is a lot in the full final release of the game, the finished product, that I thought was just not used well enough. And it made some parts of the game feel like kind of a letdown, some chapters. And if I had to say the most egregious example of that, it would definitely be the Candy Factory chapter. And if you played the game, then you know exactly where I'm going with this, because you know it's a problem, I know it's a problem, the Little Nightmares community knows it's a problem, everybody who enjoys these kinds of games knows that the biggest issues with them is that they don't utilize their main enemies enough. And this video is going to be unscripted. I'm just going to try out this format, and yeah, I'm going to try to tell you to the best of my abilities why I felt she was just underused, and how we can use that criticism going forward for the developers to basically execute it better and properly utilize their major enemies going forward for these games. So yeah, let's get into it. So first of all, the Supervisor, we were first got her official reveal for her during the You're Being Watched trailer. You know, during Halloween time, where they announced that they were going to give us a live stream. It was a Halloween Scream stream, where they initially revealed that trailer. And it was a trailer that was our first, official reveal. I say official because there were leaks of the Supervisor's design. And everyone, most people reacted positively to it because it was just an objectively amazing looking character design, at least to most people. There are dedicated Little Nightmares Free haters, but to most people the design was great because it looked cool. It had a bunch of arms, which was, a first for a Little Nightmares character. We'd never seen one that had like a bunch of arms like that before. She kind of had that nice spider-like look, the big haircut. She looked, just something about her looked iconic. She looked recognizable for the game and her chapter. So when you have this whole trailer that builds up her character and gets people excited to see her in the game, that brings a lot of excitement to that part of the game. And when you have other teasers of that part of the game, along with its own trailer, it makes the idea of that chapter being very short-lived and not that big, not that much of like an actual presence in the game, a massive disappointment to the people who actually play the game. The Candy Factory chapter is a chapter she's in, and this was a chapter of the game I was most excited to play because it had that vibe that made me think it was going to be just horrifying. The idea of an enemy that watches us on cameras, stalks us around, it was such a great premise for a chapter. And guess how much the Supervisor was actually used in that chapter, or the whole idea of her watching you. How about I summarize the chapter? Yes, spoiler warnings, there's going to be spoilers in this. So the Candy Factory chapter starts alone, they hop through the mirror, they explore, and they eventually meet the Supervisor. She rolls in with her wheels into the view of the camera. She's like through this little, whatever little window thing, and we briefly see her before she closes it, and then we meet her again in her office where we have to hide from her in a very bland stealth scene because you literally just have to hide under her desk, and that's really it. Yes, the stealth scenes in this game were very disappointing. I was hoping they would do a little more of that, but this is more about the overall utilization of her. And so basically, after hiding, she leaves. We first get introduced to the cameras. And this part wowed me, because we actually get to see us moving on the camera monitors. That was really cool. That was a nice surprise. I really liked that. And then we meet her again. We see her filing paperwork, rolling around. She's just jolly. She's the happiest spider McDonald's lady in the world. Because we all know that the Supervisor loves McDonald's. It's a core part of her character. So after climbing onto the cabinets, we reach the top where we have to, crawl around at the top, and then we drop down to a door area, and then we pull this lever. She hears, we get chased. The chase is just a straight line. We just run right and then push a door and we escape. Yep. And that's about it. We escape. We fall down, and guess what? We don't see her for the rest of the chapter. Oh, until the very end. Then we kill her! And yeah, that's basically all of her screen time. No, you think I'm exaggerating? No, that's about it. We meet her at the beginning, and then we don't see her for the rest of the chapter. Nope. We see her again at the end, but we just kill her. After, like, I don't know, two chase scenes? No, that's about it. What a fucking disappointment. Like, come on. You give us that whole trailer and that's it? We just kill her? It's not even an interesting death. We just crush her. Could have, like, turned her into candy or something. I don't know. It's just, I don't know. It's just not right. It didn't feel like they did her justice. It's just a waste of a character. You have such a cool-looking character, and that's all you do with it? Her stealth sections were really weak as well. They are so short-lived. We just, you know, she just moves around, we hide under boxes, and then, you know, we hide under desks and stuff, and then we just, you know, get around her, and then we leave, and that's it. That's it. I can't even really describe it, because that's just it. There's not much that actually happened. We're not gonna get another Little Nightmares free. We're not gonna get a DLC that explores the Supervisor more. She's dead! She died! We crushed her! Dead! Blech! Gone! We ain't seeing her again. Unless it's like your ghost or something. That actually sounds kind of cool. Someone make a ghost design of the Supervisor. That would be cool. But my advice for how I would have fixed this is so simple. Just put her in that long middle point of the chapter where we're just solving puzzles, and put her in those places where she could have definitely been added. There's so many areas in the Candy Factory chapter where she could have just came through a door and searched for us, because there's cameras in different areas, in different spots. So imagine you get to one of those areas, you know, those puzzles that involved the cameras, or at least they were, you know, they had a presence there. Imagine after you solve one of those, the Supervisor comes back through one of the doors, and you have to hide behind her while you get back to where you need to be. Like that elevator area during the chapter, which was, you know, kind of a callback to the hospital from Little Nightmares 2. You know, it was just, there's so many missed opportunities. And, you know, you can't get mad at missed opportunities because it happens, you know, you're not always going to share the same exact vision as the game developers, but when those missed opportunities stack up, it says something about the overall vision and the overall desire to really take these ideas to their fullest potential. And I don't get why Little Nightmares games keep doing that. They have these cool ideas and they don't take them to their fullest potential. I don't know if it's because of scheduling, you know, game development scheduling, or if the game developers just are at certain restrictions to what they can do. And I don't understand why those restrictions would be there. I understand that these games have a very specific style, but that doesn't mean you can't go all out with that style still being there. I mean, look at the concept art for Little Nightmares games. They always have such a surreal art style that the games just, they don't really do justice ever. And the Supervisor is a great example of that, because they had an amazing idea and they just didn't use it at all. Or maybe I shouldn't say at all, because she was at least in the chapter for like, it felt like 2 minutes, honestly. It felt like the amount of screen time she had was like 2 minutes. It technically probably is more, a little more than that. But that's what it felt like while playing, because that's how little she was actually in the chapter. 12 minutes of screen time. That doesn't seem too bad until you remember that this character had a whole trailer for her. At least for a Little Nightmares game, doesn't seem so bad, because we already know that these games are going to underuse their enemies. But we had hope for this one. Supermassive, we had hope for you. Anyway, for a chapter I was super excited for, I was very let down. I like Little Nightmares 3. If you saw my review, you know that I don't dislike the game. I gave it a 7.5 out of 10, and I think that's a fair rating for the game, because it wasn't terrible, but it also wasn't the amazing game I was really hoping it would be. And therefore, I just couldn't give it that much higher. And I think a lot of that is because of how disappointing the Candy Factory was as a chapter. But yeah, thank you for watching my little yap session of a video. I would like to hear your thoughts of what you thought of the Supervisor's utilization in the game, and I would love to have a discussion about it. But yeah, for now, we just have to see if Supermassive Games are going to take these criticisms about this game and use it to give us an even better one in the future. Let's look on the more optimistic side of things. But yeah, thank you for watching, and bye-bye now.